Lana, great to see you. Welcome to Popternative.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
It's so interesting because when I found out, there's going to be a Rainmaker series, you think about the incredible source material before the series, right? And I'm wondering, from an acting perspective, you can kind of throw it away a little bit and focus on the series, or you can think about it a lot, right? Like the past book, the books, the movies. What is that kind of balance for you with this series, with the original source material?
Well, first of all, I'm a good student. So I read the novel and I watched the movie probably too many times, but that's my family's fault. He was like, "Wait, let's watch the movie." And I was like, "I've seen it 4 times, but okay, fine. Let's watch it again." Um, it was important to know the sort of where the source of
Yeah.
this material, right? And I haven't read a lot of John Grisham novels. I'll just be honest there. But I'm glad that I won his bestseller. I mean, I've read his bestseller, The Rainmaker, because Bruiser in The Rainmaker is a man.
Yeah.
And but there's a lot of characteristics in the novel that did help me and give me sort of a little insight into the character. And I was trying to find ways to, like, how do I implement those things into this feminine portrayal of Bruiser? And it was tricky. I had to be very selective. And then I sort of had to go off of, like, what's in these scripts that isn't in the novel
Yeah.
that tells me so much about Bruiser. So it was like, it was sort of like a melting pot of everything that
Absolutely.
I sort of grabbed from to help me tell this version of Bruiser's story.
Well, that's a perfect segue to my next question. It's almost like you knew what I was gonna ask you. You're a pro. Like, it's amazing. But
You're welcome.
But like that script to screen journey is like the coolest thing to me because, like, I'm a filmmaker as well. You see these scripts and at some point they come to life, right? In production, and a lot happens in between, right? So like with this series, what was that script to screen like journey for you? Like seeing everything kind of come to life while you got to production, so to speak.
I mean, it was fantastic and it was a journey. It's everyone coming together with a vision, right? And some visions aren't aligned and you have to have a discussion about it. And some are like, wow, that's really helpful. I never saw it from that perspective. I'm going to use that. I would say predominantly with Bruiser's costumes. One of the things that I really loved about Mickey Rourke's portrayal of Bruiser and the Coppola film was how he dressed. It was like these bright colors, flamboyant, sort of like, handkerchief in the pocket and like these big collars. And I just thought, yeah, Bruiser she needs to dress a certain way. Like, she can't be this sort of, she can't look like she's from a white shoe firm.
Yeah.
She can't. She needs to have like this sort of edgy, maybe a little bit disheveled, kind of approach, maybe a little bit like too revealing, bodice
Mhm.
so top that's just like, wow, okay, she knows how to work it. She uses her femininity to get what she wants and her
Absolutely.
sexuality, which is like also really cool and not in the novel or in the film portrayal.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of freedom in developing Bruiser.
Yes. I
Yeah.
always think it's interesting, and I'm wondering what you think about this, but there's this tug of war with, something that was a book becoming a TV show. You know what I mean? Something that was a movie becoming like a TV show, or like back and forth. Because at the end of the day, yes, everyone's going to do it justice. There's going to be homage and everything, but it's not like this is Rainmaker the series. Like, it's not the book. It's not the movie. That's all. I feel like there could be like a podcast series on that, right? This like this back and forth. You know what I mean? Like,
Fair enough. Yeah.
yeah,
But it requires the audience to stay open-minded, right? All of
absolutely.
us.
Mhm.
And it gives us the opportunity, the actors in a television series and the writers, to really dive into these characters' backstories and also give them the opportunity to grow in ways that
Mhm.
we've never seen, we didn't read. And so it's really cool. There's a
Mhm.
lot more creative freedom, I
Ab
think, turning
absolutely.
yeah, and turning these IPs, sort of known love stories, into series.
Well, good segue too, because the original movie was really serious, the book's serious, and I find it interesting because I love the evolution of, the drama series in regards to law. We see a lot of things out there that are very kind of serious when it's supposed to be serious with kind of the court cases and everything. But then there's sprinkles of comedy in there, right? And like Suits did a great job. This does a good job with it. What's that like for you, mindset preparation wise? Is it a little bit of a swerve because it's like supposed to be serious at times, but then it's like funny, but it's like, no, like we're lawyers, right? Like it's interesting, right?
Well, I mean, thank God for it because we need levity in a world today that's very dramatic and
Yeah.
very hard to live in.
Yeah.
So, these worlds, I mean, it's first of all, in the film, you had Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito's not ever not funny. I mean, he's
Yes.
always funny. He stands there and you're laughing,
But now you have PJ Byrne and Dan Fogler. Even though Dan is not as funny, like it's funny. This is a different role, right?
And he's so good in it. And
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Fogler and I have so many synchronicities. It's a trip. It's a
Yeah,
trip.
absolutely.
But when we met, I was like, oh my God, we're from the same place. We're basically like twins, like separated at birth. Like there's so many things. Or like I cannot believe how we like grew up on the same block.
Yeah.
Like literally twice in two different places. But Dan is hilarious, and in this is a great different role for him.
Yeah.
But you do have the comic relief with PJ Byrne,
Oh
and
my
you do
God.
have this sort of sassy snarkiness with my character because it's sort of now my casting um,
Yeah.
with multiple characters I played. I have these like great snarky one-liners, but we need that. We need levity. We
Mhm.
need levity, and it needs to have that balance. And that's this show has everything. It has romance, it has thriller, it has suspense, it has levity, it has it has drama, it has
Mhm.
this thriller. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's you're at the edge of your seat some of the times. There's so many things that happen that you're not expecting. So, and that's the luxury of being able to tell a story over 10 episodes.
No, absolutely. And last question before we wrap up. You have an incredible body of work and different worlds, different characters you've gone to play. And I'm curious, like, how separate are past projects for you compared to something like the Rainmaker? Like, do you bring mindsets of preparation from Once Upon a Time or like other projects do something like this, or are they completely separate once you wrap them?
I think with Once Upon a Time in particular, she bled into a lot of things after, but when you're portraying a character for 9 months, a year, for 7 years, I mean, she was in my DNA.
Yeah.
Like I had to do a whole like ritual exorcism to get her out, and it took a while. And I mean, it really did take a while. And I would say in Why Women Kills, there were still elements of her. Part of that was, just the character, the show, the series, the costumes, and there was like, oh, she was that kind of woman, and she became a villain as well in that. But I'm not playing a villain. I
Mhm.
am not playing a villain. And so I really wanted to find ways to make her different. She's a bossy, brassy, ballsy broad, known as Bruiser, all the B's, except for, well, she has the other kind of bee in her too. But, I really was like, how do I make her different
Mhm.
than everything else I've done? And so that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It really does. And I kept asking my producers, like, do you see the evil queen? Do you see Regina? They're like, no, no, no. I'm like, okay, good, good,
No,
good.
absolutely. And you're fantastic in this series. Congratulations. And USA Network, they can check it out. And then episodes are also going to be available on Peacock for people to check out. That's a Rainmaker. Lana, it was an honor and privilege to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Likewise. Thank you. Have a great
You
day.
too. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.